If you want the charm of Old Washington, but the convenience of being in the center of all the action, then Chevy Chase Heights is a great place to live. If you're willing to sacrifice space.
Hi, I'm Grace.
And I'm Brian.
And this is our small space. It's really a challenge living in a small space, but we made it work for us.
At first, Brian lived all alone in the tiny DC apartment, but then Grace moved in and had to turn the bachelor pad into their first home.
Grace and Brian were limited in what they could do with their 800-square-foot apartment because they rent, so they used paint to make the space their own.
We've lived here for about a year and a half. My husband lived here 6 months before I did, and he had turned this place into a full-fledged bachelor pad. Well, when I first saw it, I thought it was not exciting. There was no colors on the wall. It was all white, but I really liked the entire apartment.
The living room is bright and simple, a perfect backdrop for their most cherished possessions.
What makes our small space really livable is that we have a lot of sunlight coming in. I love sitting here on the chaise where you get a lot of sunlight. And here we have our table where we eat dinner and we have guests over and you can view the city. It's just wonderful. Living in a small space, I had to really choose things to display that were meaningful to me because I couldn't keep everything out. So this is a place where I display some of my collection. I have here the cake topper that me and my husband had on our wedding day. It's from the Washington Dolls House and Toy Museum, which is now closed. This here is my money-making machine, this gumball machine. I bought it at a flea market for $35, and we love it because we tell people it only takes quarters, even though it takes any kind of coin, just so we can make some money. This here is a painting I did. I love to sew, so I did this, and it's a 3D interactive piece about sewing. People always try to buy it off me, but I just cannot part with it.
Grace convinced me that we needed a chandelier, so we went to the store, and I picked up one she really liked. After trying to install it, I realized that the wiring was really old, the junction box was really old. I eventually got it up after 3 weeks, and now it looks beautiful.
Grace and Brian had to limit their wardrobes to what could fit in the bedroom closet.
We love our 1920s architecture. We don't love our 1920s lack of closet space. This dresser, Brian and I have to share. We've got one dresser drawer each. Sometimes I put my stuff in his space. He's not down with that. As for our closets, they're tiny. We've got 2 in our apartment. This one has to double as a place to hold our clothes, as well as a place for Brian's records, photography stuff, and our air conditioning during the winter months. We even fight over the space. This belt rack divides my space from his space, and I always go into his space.
Now, Grace has a lot of her collections in the living room and most of the apartment, yet when I saw this, even though it took up room, I really needed to have it in this space. It's a 1920s Victrola, and how it works is there's a crank on the right side here. You just spin it up a few times, get it spinning.
Since our apartment is so small, storage is really important. This piece that my friend found for me doubles as a bedside table as well as a place to keep my sewing stuff.
Bedside tables are great storage units. I always tell my clients to get ones that have doors so they can hide clutter and store away important things.
The great thing about this apartment is that the bathroom acts as a shortcut from our bedroom to the living room.
The built-ins give a focal point to the strangely shaped kitchen.
This is our kitchen. Because we rent, there's lots of things about this space we're not that fond of, like our floor, our sinks, and our really old countertops. But we love the storage space. And because it's open, it really keeps us in line with keeping clean. I chose to decorate this room in something that encouraged me to eat. Bright colors, lots of fun stuff. I let my eclectic side come out.
When you paint a space, it really highlights the woodwork that you have, any molding. Also, it really makes artwork pop. I cannot recommend painting your room highly enough.
At first I thought this space is way too small, but the fact of the matter is when we have people over, it works out really well because we have a big kitchen for a small space, and so people gather in there and then people gather in here, so it works out perfectly. Sometimes we have a game night here, and we have teams, and it's really fun, and things get really rowdy, and there's some competition going on. We'll see if some trouble goes down tonight.
It's just really nice to come up to her apartment because the space is always so uplifting and a lot of fun. We have a great time having our game nights here or just coming to hang out.
Oh, no.
It's just turned into just a really beautiful apartment with a little bit of a modern, edgy feel to it.
We love our small space. Although it was a challenge at first, we made it work for us.
Coming up, how minimal is too minimal?
I used to fool around with off-whites. That was about as much as I got into color. I just decided that every surface was going to be the same super white, to which I'm addicted.